The pain of messing up isn't just emotional, it's physical. It feels like every part of me is weighed down by the consequences, and no matter what I do, I can't seem to lighten the load. I can't stop thinking about how I let people down. Every time I try to move on, the weight of my mistakes pulls me back, reminding me of how much I wish I could change what happened. The hardest part of regret is knowing that there's no easy way to fix things. I've made my mistakes, and now I have to live with them, but it feels like the regret will never fade. I used to think that I could keep going without consequences, but now I know the truth. Every choice has a price, and mine is the weight of regret that follows me wherever I go. I've realized that the biggest punishment I can give myself isn't the disappointment of others, but the way my own heart feels when I think about the damage I've caused. It's an emptiness I can't fill. The longer I dwell on my mistakes, the more I feel like I'm losing myself. It's like I'm fading away, consumed by the guilt of knowing that I messed up so badly. I never expected to feel this lost, but here I am, trying to make sense of the mess I've created. Every thought is tangled in regret, and it feels like I'm trapped in my own mind. It's hard to breathe when you're weighed down by the guilt of your own actions. I keep wishing for a way to escape the consequences, but deep down, I know that I have to face them head on. I thought I had control over my life, but now I realize that I've lost it. The mistakes I've made have become my new reality, and I don't know how to move past them. It feels like I'm walking through life with an invisible scar, one that no one can see but me. I carry the pain of my mistakes every day, and it's impossible to forget. I wish I could erase the hurt I've caused, but all I can do now is learn from it. The hardest part is knowing that I'll always carry the memory of what I did. The more I reflect on my actions, the more I realize how much I've hurt others. It's a pain that lingers, and it's the kind of regret that doesn't just fade away. Every time I think I've moved on, the guilt finds a way to pull me back. It's like a shadow that never leaves, constantly reminding me of the mistake I made. The damage I've caused is far deeper than I could have imagined. It's not just about the consequences, but the emotional toll of knowing that I've hurt people who trusted me. I can't change what I've done, and that's the hardest truth to accept. The guilt is a constant companion, reminding me every day of the mess I've created. I wish I could turn back time and make things right, but I know that's not possible. Now, I'm left with the consequences of my actions, and it's a weight I can't escape. The guilt is suffocating, and every time I try to breathe, I feel the weight of my mistakes holding me down. It's a battle I'm not sure I can win. I never thought I would end up here, overwhelmed by the consequences of my own choices. The hardest part is knowing that there's no way to undo what's been done. The silence of regret is deafening. It's a silence that speaks volumes about the mistakes I've made, and every moment of quiet feels like a reminder of how much I've messed up. I keep asking myself if I'll ever be able to forgive myself for what I've done. The guilt is so overwhelming that it feels impossible to find peace within myself. It's hard to move forward when you're constantly reminded of your past mistakes. No matter how much I try to heal, the guilt is always there, lurking in the background. I wish I could go back to the person I was before the mistake, but I know that's not possible. All I can do now is try to live with the consequences and hope that time will heal the wounds I've caused. The pain of messing up isn't just emotional, it's physical. It feels like every part of me is weighed down by the consequences, and no matter what I do, I can't seem to lighten the load. I've realized that the hardest part of regret isn't the mistake itself, but the constant reminder that it's never really gone. It's always there, just beneath the surface. I keep wondering if I'll ever find peace again, or if I'll always be haunted by the mistakes I made. The more I try to move on, the harder it seems to escape the guilt. Sometimes it feels like I'm being punished for what I've done, even when no one else is around. The guilt has become my constant companion, and it's eating away at me. I never imagined that one mistake could change my entire life. Now I'm left trying to rebuild, but every step I take feels like a reminder of what I lost. The regret feels like a weight on my chest, squeezing the breath out of me. I wish I could let go of it, but it's so deeply embedded in my heart that it feels impossible. Sometimes the weight of our mistakes feels heavier than we can bear. It's not just the regret, it's the constant questioning of what could have been different if we'd made better choices. The feeling of being trapped in a loop, unable to escape the consequences of our own actions, can be suffocating. I keep replaying every moment in my mind, wishing I could go back and change just one thing. But the truth is, what's done is done. Now I must live with the consequences, knowing full well that my own mistakes are the only thing holding me back from finding peace. The guilt gnaws at me like a persistent ache, a constant reminder of what I've lost. I wish I could erase the damage I've caused, but the more I try to forget, the more it consumes me. turning into a silent storm in my soul. Every day feels like an endless internal battle. I know I messed up, and it haunts me every waking moment. It's as though I'm carrying the burden of my past with me, unable to set it down and move forward. I can feel the weight of my choices pressing down on me, reminding me of the mistakes I've made. It's as if my own thoughts have become my worst enemy, and no matter how hard I try, I can't escape them. What hurts the most isn't just the mistake itself, but the realization that I've let down those I care about. I've betrayed their trust, and now I'm left with nothing but the silence of their disappointment. There's no running away from the guilt that haunts me. It's not just in my thoughts, but in my heart too. And no matter how much I try to distract myself, it's always there, waiting for me in the quiet moments. I often wonder if I'll ever be able to forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. It feels like I've broken something inside that can't be fixed, and every time I try, I end up making it worse. I'm so consumed by the aftermath of my actions that I can't think straight anymore. The regret is overwhelming, and no matter how much I wish for a way out, I feel trapped by my own decisions. It feels like my entire world has shifted, and all I'm left with are the consequences of my own choices. I've made a mess, and now I have to figure out how to pick up the pieces. The worst part of messing up isn't just the shame, but the realization that I can't undo what's been done. I have to live with it, and it feels like a constant weight I can't shake. I never imagined that my mistakes would follow me like this, weighing down my every move. Every time I think I've found a way to move on, I'm reminded of what I did, and it's like starting over in a race I can never win. I'm caught in a cycle of self-loathing, each thought a sharp reminder of how badly I messed up. I want to move past it, but it feels like the more I try to heal, the deeper the wound becomes. The silence that follows a mistake is deafening. It's the kind of silence that cuts deep, reminding me that there's nothing I can do to reverse the damage. All I have is regret, and it's eating me alive. I can't escape the truth that my actions have consequences, and every day it feels like a reminder of the hurt I've caused. It's as though I've trapped myself in a place I can't get out of, no matter how hard I try. I wish I could go back in time, even for just a moment, to make a different choice. But all I have now are the consequences, and they are a constant presence in my life, haunting me when I least expect it. It's hard to accept that I've hurt others with my decisions. The guilt is so heavy that it often feels like I'm drowning in it, unable to find my way back to who I was before the mistake. The emotional toll of a mistake isn't just about the damage done, It's the feeling of helplessness that follows. I can't change the past, but the pain of knowing I hurt someone I cared about is something I can't shake. I keep wondering what could have been if I'd made better choices. But the truth is, I'll never know. I can only move forward with the weight of my actions, knowing that every step I take is shaped by what I've done. There's no escape from the feelings of regret. They linger in my thoughts, making it impossible to move forward without being reminded of the mess I've created. I feel like I'm constantly battling against my own mind. The guilt is relentless, pushing me into a corner where I can't escape the mistakes I made, no matter how hard I try to move forward. I thought I could handle the consequences, but it's harder than I imagined. Each day is a struggle to reconcile the person I was with, the person I've become, and it feels like I'm losing the fight. It's the small moments that hurt the most, the moments when I'm alone with my thoughts, and all I can hear is the echo of my own guilt. It's a constant reminder of how much I've messed up, and it's suffocating.